But you never know that you could. When you feel that way, ain't it good, good dancing in the red and gold. Dancing in the red and gold.
What's up, Faithful? Welcome to another episode of the 49er Faithful UK Live. As always, I'm Paul Hope.
And I'm a very happy Nick Ludlam.
Well, Nick, happy Victory Tuesday, buddy. It's been a few weeks since we could say that, but our 49ers dominated the Jacksonville Jaguars, winning on the road 34-3 to move to 6-3 on the season and number one in the NFC West. Now, as always, everybody, we have lots to talk about, and I'm sure you already know one topic of conversation. But before we get into all that and much, much more, how are you doing today, Nick?
Mate, I have been on cloud nine since Sunday evening. The good news hasn't stopped rolling. It's just been one of those weeks. It's been pretty bloody fantastic. Let's be honest. The Niners were amazing, and it led by the defense, not led by the offense. The score suggests it was led by the offense. It was led by the defense, that win. It was amazing. And then the good news just kept on rolling. It's just been a really great week, mate. How about you?
Well, Trailblazer, before we get on to the Purdy Express, because despite what my good colleague Nadji says, it's not the Brocket ship. It will always be the Purdy Express or the Brock Express. We do have to start on the defense. But Nick, do share your good news, because I have retweeted it, but I would want you to share it with everyone, because we are a family, we are a community. You know, we do love this sport and this team of ours, but at the heart of it is what we do. So please do share your good news before we get into the game.
Yeah, I had a lovely little letter come through this afternoon. We all made a few jokes for the summer about me nearly cutting my fingers off. I got a little bit worried, so we had a few scans, a big MRI during the summer, and the results have come back. No new lesion growth and no new lesions, so my MS remains stable. So I've got something else to celebrate this weekend coming.
Well, you mentioned this weekend coming. I just starred this comment, so obviously it's fantastic news that you've got the all clear. And Mr. Waters, 3 more sleeps. How could we forget? Who's excited? We will get onto the Tampa Bay game later. But Rob, yes, I was one of those that called it Brocktober. So
it's gone. We need something else now.
My hands up. Martin, thanks for the being thrilled with Nick's good news. I also hope you've recovered, although yours was self-inflicted. And I did see the footage on social media. And don't worry, Rob, we've got that one boxed away. But as you said there, Nick, before we went into Sunday night's game, there was a lot of talk of the Jacksonville Jaguars. They were tied for leading the league with 18 turnovers, tied with the New Orleans Saints. And we all know if you win the turnover battle in the NFL, good things happen. It was something I was worried about heading into Sunday's game. I did my scouting report for the pod on the defense, and I was worried because Brock had been turning the ball over. But I think the defense, our defense, is a good place to start. So come on then, Nick. You said you were more impressed with the defense. Tell these good people why you were impressed with the defense on Sunday.
It just seemed to be a change across the board. I'm not sure that the tactics that they employed were vastly different from what we've had the last month or so, but something was different. And I'm not going to give it down to Wilkes coming down from the booth either. I'm sure that had a big impact for the players personally. I didn't think it was a massive thing, but something was just different about them. You know, you could see it. They were everywhere. You know, they were coming up. Everything just seemed to go our way for the defense. Whereas before, balls, instead of bouncing towards our defenders and away from attackers, they were bouncing towards us. You know, that you got that strip sack from Bosa. 2 weeks ago, that ball would have bounced in an opposite direction and it wouldn't have been a fumble recovery. It would have just been a sack, or it would have been an incomplete pass or something along those lines. But things just seemed to go the right way. And you can see it from the first drive. They fed off it. They really fed off it, and they were in. They were in on this. There was no way that defense was ever going to really fall apart. I was a bit gutted with Lenore. However, players have bad games. It's going to happen. And then Ambry Thomas comes in. Where did that come from? Where on earth did that come from Ambry Thomas?
Well, you did mention Steve Wilkes and the move from the booth to the sideline. And to be honest, whatever happened on Sunday, that was always going to be must-watch TV, which I'll get to in a minute. We're joined by Leanne. She's put good evening, everyone. Greetings from Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. Bet the weather's nicer where you are, Leanne. Nice to be back in the win column with authority. We're joined by everybody's favourite Would You Rather.
There he is.
There he is.
Have we not banned him yet?
And James, Nick has had some good news regarding his
very good.
MS, so we will touch upon that later. But just want to go back to Steve Wilkes. Now, there was a lot of talk on social media about Mr. Wilkes being by the sideline. Now, I do think it played a part, purely because Fred Warner said so. And if Fred Warner says so, I'm going to agree with that, Nick. But I think it was good to see the energy from the team. It was good to see him on the sideline. But you've hit the nail on the head. Wilkes needs the credit for the adjustments. He took out Oliver and he put in Thomas. A lot of Niners fans were like, not Ambry Thomas. Not Ambry Thomas.
I think we all were.
To be honest, Ambry Thomas nearly gave us one of my favourite touchdowns ever.
Oh.
So when he tackles Lawrence or the receiver and the ball popped out, he seemed to take an age to get up. So I leapt up off the couch to celebrate the turnover, then the recovery, and then when he ran up the field, I have the 49ers defense in all 15 of my fantasy teams. So I was like, and then you see the commentators say, "Oh, this is coming back, but we don't know why." And then the next day, you see Shanahan was the furthest on the field.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
say anything about the players that were on the field because Shanahan was there. Now, ultimately, it didn't cost us. Ill discipline of them being on the field, celebrating. I can kind of understand given where we've been the last few weeks. But I'm glad you led in with Ambry Thomas. Now, before I hand over to you, Nick, this was the performance we were wanting from our defensive front, from the D-line. So on that note, buddy, 5 sacks. Can you name the 5 sacks?
I can't. I know, was it Bosa had a couple? I think you got Arik had one. And they were just across the line. They were fantastic. It was that classic Oprah moment, wasn't it? You get a sack, and you get a sack, and you get a sack. It was brilliant. Loved it. Loved it. It was nice to see them leading.
So for the people who like the stats, Hargrave, Armstead, Young, Bosa, Ferrell, all recorded a sack. Now, I knew Chase Young was going to add a new dynamic to this defense. And you were last week were on record as saying, I don't think he's going to fix all the problems. Now, I'm not saying he has. However, you've got to be impressed by that start from Chase Young there.
Oh, God, yes. I mean, the Buckeye bookends. That's what that is what they are now. You could see them. They were never far from each other when they were off the field. Clearly, Young is there still getting his crash course. You know, he's only been at the team a week. So he's still learning that defense. You know, he's leaning on someone he knows best. And who better to lean on when it comes to the 49ers pass rush than the best pass rusher in the NFL? I know he hasn't lived up to it so far this season, but they did this year. No, this week even. It was absolutely phenomenal. You know, as I say, Chase did not fix all of those problems. He didn't. It was a whole effort from the entire defense that caused this. But you could see why the Niners went and got him. He was fantastic on opposite to Bosa. When the two of them came, they just come together in perfect symphony. Somewhere around where the quarterback was so frequently was beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I was going to mention, you've kind of stole my thunder, which is what I love on a Tuesday. So I liked that Wilkes didn't start Chase Young. So he introduced him into the second series. And the prominent player that you're talking about was when Bosa and Young came off the edge at the same time in perfect unison, like you said.
It was.
And Trevor Lawrence just didn't know what to do. Both of them crashed into him. I think there's a picture. I think Hargrave. There's 3 of them on top of him, and I've seen someone tweet it out, say hang it in the Louvre. I'm all for that. So I don't watch a lot of college football because my good lady would definitely get rid of me if I sacrifice Saturdays. So I know there was a lot of Niners fans. Our good friend John V from the Locker Room Rant, he's a big Buckeye fan, so he was very high on this acquisition. And like you said, Hargrave had what I would say is his best game for me for the 49ers. And I think the fact that Hargrave and Armstead inside, Bosa and Young on the outside. I like the fact that the secondary seemed tighter, which meant Trevor Lawrence held the ball longer, which allowed them to get there.
Pass rush gets home.
All round, the defense was really good. And I'm going to say it loud and proud on this show because the comments have already been going on there. Fred Warner is no longer All-Pro Fred. He is the Defensive Player of the Year because
he was phenomenal. That's Fred at his best. Fred at his absolute best. He was something special, man.
So Colin is just checking in. He's hitting that like button, which we appreciate. Mate. He's very busy tonight, so he will catch up later. And he's wished us both safe travels. Are you going anywhere, like Nick? Are you going anywhere in the next couple of days?
I thought we were going to Bodmin. Yeah, Bodmin more. Lovely.
You've lost half the audience there, buddy, because all across the pond, I have no idea what you're going on about.
Baltimore is not somewhere where people like to go. It's where you accidentally end up and spend ages trying to get away from. It's not very nice.
Well,
sorry if you are, Bodmin.
Before we move off the defense and down that UK side rabbit hole that Nick has just produced, I don't want to move off the defense before showing love to some of the players. So again, Fanga seemed back to his old self. He seemed to be in the right place at the right time. When that ball dropped to him, he just seemed to be kind of stood around. But that's not by accident. Like you said, I think Gibson handled Engram quite well, and Gibson played at the level that we saw last week. Now, a lot of my non-Niners fans, the haters out there who've been in my DMs all week in the run-up to Sunday's game and then went very quiet, they were telling me this Jags team weren't to be taken lightly. Kyle Brandt, he even had to go on air and apologise to us Niners fans because how dare we be 3.5 favourites. That's right, Kyle. How dare we be 3.5 favourites when we win 34-3. I'm going to keep saying that, Nick, because the Jags are having a decent season.
They're a good team. They hadn't lost in 6 weeks. They hadn't lost since September. They were one of the form teams in the NFL by all accounts. It came as a little bit of a surprise to me to see us as 3.5 point favorites, but we demolished them, just like we did to those Cowboys.
That is correct. Now, like Fred Warner, we are not going to get too excited on this show because, as you've pointed out, after the Cowboys' performance, we kind of all got a bit giddy and the team's performance suffered. So like Fred said, one game at a time, Nick, which will lead us on nicely later on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game. But I want to go down the Brock Purdy road at the moment. He broke out with the worst stretch of his young career with arguably his best all-round game. Would you think that's fair for me to start with that?
Mate, he was fantastic. Yeah, I could talk Brock all day. No problem. He was magnificent.
Well, for me, Nick, his combination of his patience, his aggressiveness, and the fact that Kyle Shanahan has allowed him to play free. So somebody put in the comment, and I'm going to find it, that first touchdown to Ayuk. As Rob put there, I think every single one of us was on the same. When it went back across his body and was in the air.
Oh,
no. I mean, he completed 3 touchdown passes, each which travelled more than 20 yards in the air. But Brock can't throw. He's just a system quarterback.
No, you can't throw long. Can't throw deep.
He also resulted in several big throws downfield. He didn't turn the ball over, which if Alex Simpson is watching, Mr. Hope called that before the game. Now, that was bold, considering the Jags defence were tied with the Saints for 18 turnovers this season. and Brock hadn't had the best stretch of his games. I did love the touchdown to our boy Kittle.
That was beautiful.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, Nick. When that pocket started closing and then the ball seemed to just pop out over the top, I thought, who's he throwing that to? And then Kyle Shanahan was just celebrating before George even caught the ball. So what did you make of that particular play?
That was something special. That was special because he had a lot of arms up in front of him. His vision was not, well, it won't have been great. He won't have been able to see a great deal of what was going on. He has put absolute trust in George Kittle being exactly where he should be, and he was. It's George. George's going to be there where you want him to be there. You ask him to do it, he'll do it. He'll move heaven and earth to do it for you. And it was an amazing pass. It was absolutely perfect. It was outstanding. Absolutely outstanding pass. But of course, as we know, he can't throw deep. It's been the one thing that people have loved throwing at him. Oh, he can't throw deep, really? Think he can. Well, it was beautiful.
Before I sprinkle some of the Paul Hope hype train dust on there, Martin he was back to work at 4:45 this morning, but didn't feel normal till 4:45 this afternoon. So let that be a lesson to your kids. Sometimes it's not big. It's not clever to drink 3,247 fireballs in 3 hours. But when the Niners put a performance on like that, Martin, what can we say? But you look at there. So George Kittle, 116 yards off 3 receptions. One of them was the 66-yard touchdown. Kittle doesn't get much opportunity because Deebo Samuel had 59 total yards and 1 touchdown. Brandon Ayuk had 55 receiving yards and 1 touchdown. Christian McCaffrey,
who sucked apparently.
In there. He did apparently, that lad needs to up his game. That's why 23 is not hung up on there. I mean, God damn you, Christian. 17 games in a row.
Trade him. He did not score. He must be traded.
I mean, to be fair, Kyle Shanahan, even though we'd sat all the starters by this point, he did try everything in his power.
He did. I don't say everything in his power because he did trust Sam Darnold to throw the ball to get him a touchdown. Really, I don't think I'd have called a passing play in that situation. I think I'd have called some sort of running play, some trick play, something.
So could you imagine the controversy on Twitter if Sam Darnold had placed that ball perfectly in the corner, McCaffrey pulls it in, he breaks the record? It would be start Sam, sit back. I'm joking, everybody. I'm just sharing that because our good friend Ted is in the house. I'm confused, Ted. Sometimes you're on the Brock Express, sometimes you're not on the Brock Express. Your Twitter mentions must go through the roof on a Sunday, Ted. You're a braver man than me when it comes to some of the takes on Twitter. But again, 296 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Overall, he commanded the offense and we steamrolled the Jags. Let's not make any bones about it. We absolutely destroyed them. It was good to see Ronnie Bell get a reception. I mentioned that because he's on my player watch for the 49er Faithful UK this year. Brandon Ayuk seems quiet, but I'm segueing into Deebo Samuel. Connor Ryan has not paid for this endorsement, even though he will be delighted. We said it last week, Nick. Deebo adds a different dynamic to this offense. He showed that on Sunday. The end-around play is one of my favourite Niners players, and you do need to have an understanding of how to play running back. So I've seen a few people say, can Ray McLeod not do that role? Could Danny Gray not do that role? They're not Deebo Samuel. Yes, Trent Williams was out front blocking. Ayuk was sealing the edge. Jennings was putting the block. But Deebo strolls in untouched because he is the best wide back in the NFL. And I was delighted to see him on the field. What did you make of Deebo Samuel?
Deebo is just Deebo. There really isn't many like him in the league. When you've got a guy, he looks like a running back playing wide receiver. He looks like a receiver, but he can play running back as well. He is that little bit special. And it's the fact then that teams, the week leading up to it, when you know that you have to face Deebo Samuel, how do you plan for that man? because there are so many ways of which you can give him the ball and he can make yards and he can make you pay. How do you plan for that? You know, you see various little looks and wrinkles from those looks. Defensive coordinators, they must have nightmares knowing they're going to be going up against Debo. He just has that about him now. You know, it's that thing of, right, okay, we're playing the Niners this week. What are we going to do? Because they can come at you from everywhere.
Well, like you said there, I mean, you look at Ayuk and Samuel. They only combined for 114 yards from scrimmage and 2 total touchdowns. But if you're going to win a game 34-3 every week, we actually got more turnovers than the Jags scored points. Now, I wasn't as bold to predict that, as you'll see. So, Ted, just showing you a bit of love, buddy. Now, I'm not saying that Brock Purdy is elite either. I got my fingers burnt with my take on Trey Lance, but I've got my We Are Purdy damn good t-shirt on, courtesy of my good friends Andy and Ord Smith. I haven't been able to wear this for a couple of weeks since they bought it for me, so there was only one shirt I was rocking tonight. But before we move off the Jags game, Nick, there's a couple of players that I wanted to bring to your attention. So I stayed off the Discord and the Facebook chats at the weekend because I was watching on Sky Go because we were blacked out, and Sky Go is notoriously behind. I was texting Connor bemoaning the flag machine that is Mooney Ward until the next play is when he's batting that ball down in the end zone. Shows what I talk about. You'll have seen some talk in the Goldmine group about me and Nadji and Connor possibly lending our hands to the Niners and Mr. Hope playing cornerback. Now, if you ever wanted to see what I look like in the NFL playing cornerback, just look at number 31 when Trent Williams is running at him, because that is a business decision that I would be making.
Same.
So, what did you make of number 31 taking the Paul Hope route and getting the hell out of the way of the big man?
I can't blame him. I'd be honest, I would have done it slightly differently. I think rather than running away from him, I just might have taken a step to the side and gone, yes, Mr. Williams, would you like to go through? That would have been it, because there's no way I'm standing in front of that man marauding through, because he's just going to destroy me. That's it. It's the end.
So Trailblazers jumped in there because we do this on a Tuesday. We jump all over. What impressed him most was Brock's return to looking after the ball when the defense did get through. He had a few times where he had all the options disappear and he made it nearly back to the line safely. Now, the O-line, I thought, unsurprisingly, Trent Williams obviously brought a lot of stability. I was nervous in the run-up to Sunday's game because Trent was questionable.
Yeah.
How that man moves that athletically and be that big and the confidence that he brings. I had a good feeling about this game when I saw Debo, Trent with the boombox, and then I saw Chase Young doing the griddy, and I thought, can we recreate that this Sunday at Levi's? And then I thought, I don't know whether we'd go viral for all the right reasons. Martin has put there, he had more fireballs than the Jags got points, which hence is why I was feeling a little bit rough. Leanne, I agree. The defense sets the tone for the offense. When the defense is firing, it makes the offense go. Now, I have saw a couple of haters out there saying it's easy for Brock Purdy to play when the Niners are in front. It's easy for him to play when the Niners are winning. Look at what's happened in the last 3 weeks. Now, the Houston Texans weren't on many people's betting sheet to beat the Bengals. The Ravens weren't expected to lose to the Browns. This is what happens in the NFL.
Sports.
Battle tested after these last 3 weeks. We've bounced back after the bye. Ty, we might have to, take you up on there. So Ty, you'll be there as well, buddy. Appreciate the love, as always.
Yeah, baby.
I did want to just say, whilst we've got Ty, much appreciated, buddy. You're flying the 49er Faithful UK flag out in Jacksonville. You tweeted it out. You're showing us the love. And as I said to you on social media, I cannot wait to have a photo with you with that flag at Levi Stadium. Public service announcement right now, people. If you're going to get fed up of seeing that flag this face at Levi's. I won't take it personally because I have said that whenever I finally made it across the pond, I would shout it loud and proud. That's what I've been doing. And there will be lots of footage on social media. And on that note, we're joined by everybody's favourite photographer.
There he is.
Wayne is in the house. Wayne, the thumbnail is doing the business. So much so, we may need a couple more, buddy. We may need a couple more.
Not being cheeky much, but yeah.
So, Nick, is there anything else that you want to talk about the Jags game before we move on?
No, I mean, let's be honest. It was just nice to be. It was nice to get back in the winning column. I'd have taken a 2-0 win. Just a crappy safety in the back end zone. That's it, and that's the difference. I'd have taken that. I'd have taken the same kind of performance where we beat the Commanders in that Mud Bowl game, where it was just a few field goals. I'd have taken anything, absolutely anything. But the manner of victory, to go into one of the form teams in the NFL and absolutely take them apart, that takes some doing. That takes some doing, especially when you're not exactly riding your own luck. That was a lot of fun. That could be a real tone setter for this season. Now,
yeah. So as Ty's put there, so the reason we're showing this performance a lot of love. There was a lot of talk from, like I said, Carl Brandt's one of my favourite analysts. I love Good Morning Football. It's one of the shows that I got into in my journey in the NFL. So for you guys across the pond, that's on at lunchtime here in the UK. And obviously you can go back and watch it on NFL Network. Obviously Kyle's done the whole Bot Purdy, but he was very high on the Jaguars going into this game. And I'll give him his credit. I switched on Monday, fully waiting to see what he would say, and he owned it. Now, equally, Nick, I just want to say a big shout out to your neighbours because I think they were absolutely buzzing that it was a 6 o'clock game. Now, you may have been loud. Any notes under the door?
No notes. No notes. We're all good. Everyone was still awake when I was screaming, and I did. I did not keep the noise down. I was loud and proud, honest to God. It was just so great from the start. I just had that good feeling. The moment we were 10 up, it's like, we're not losing this. This is ours. This is now just a case of how much are we going to win by?
So big shout out at this point. John Chapman has let the cat out of the bag. So we're going to segue into what everybody's watching for. So John Chapman won't be doing his tailgate on Sunday at Levi's because instead he's chosen to join the 49er Faithful UK in the gold mine. It was awesome to see Ty, Nicholas, John, Breezy. Not only did they take over Jacksonville, I've seen a video of a Jacksonville fan walking out of the stadium with his phone saying, "It's your house, Niners. It's your house. Look after it, boys." They partied on Saturday night with Frank Gore. And I do feel bad that the tailgate won't be there this Sunday, but equally, I cannot wait to party with Chapman in Levi's. And he has let the cat out of the bag. He's mentioned it on his podcast. He's mentioned it on his show. Now, look at this. We've just mentioned the words gold mine. And James has put there, he's got something special planned. Oh. No spoilers. All will be revealed on Sunday. So, as we said at the start of the show, everybody, we're taking this one game at a time. So, before we finally put the Jacksonville game to bed, Jake Moody did give me a little bit of a worry. I know he didn't miss any kicks.
That one, there was one. We all know the one. It was bloody close.
Yeah, well, it was close. So I don't think this will be on the cards, Martin.
No.
However,
I'll get thrown out.
I don't want
to be banned. I don't want to be banned.
You do not want to be banned from there. So Nick put a video out on Twitter, which has gone viral, I believe, Nick.
I wouldn't say viral, but it's had a few interactions, shall we say.
I noticed straight away the little cheeky love and pat on the chain. And when I showed the video to Tracy, she was like, "Won't that weigh suitcase down?" I was like, "It's not a real chain, Tracy." But I did think that was quite funny that she was concerned about your luggage allowance, Nick.
Well, I say I have only got 10K. Well, 10K, 10 kilograms. That's all I'm allowed for my luggage, but I'll have my rucksack. It's coming with me. It's not staying.
See, British Airways have allowed me a rather luxury 23. Yeah, I feel like James Bond booking on British Airways. The emails come through rather official. Mr. Hope, you need to do this. Mr. Hope, you need to do that.
That's fine. Virgin look after me so much better than BA could. It's all good. I'll give the Virgin the love. It's fine.
So, for those people who may not have watched the show before, you may have guessed that me, Nick, and 38 others will be in attendance at Levi's this Sunday. So, we will arrive at the stadium for 10 a.m. San Francisco time. Obviously, we meet up with Nick Clark. We go through all the bits that I needed to then go into the stadium, be in the gold mine. So I do want to try and meet as many and everyone as possible. My journey as a 49ers fan started 10 years ago, and I can't believe that in the 10th season at Levi Stadium with this team, I'm finally going to get across to watch a game. I'm going to be joined by good friends of mine on both sides of the pond. There's going to be lots of footage. There's going to be lots of memories made. I'm not going to put Nick on the spot for a score prediction because I know he doesn't do that.
Won't be done.
Anything you want to add, Nick, about the gold mine?
No, I think the only thing I'd love to add is that we are going to be up by the Gold Bar Whiskey Bar for beforehand and after the game. If you can't find a way, if you can somehow find a way, come and say hi. We want to be able to come and meet as many of the faithful as we can. This is why we're coming over. We want to watch the game with you guys. We know how much you love the team. You know how much we love the team. We want to party with you guys. It's going to be an incredible experience. It really is.
So, Ty, I know when you and Jess go live, it tends to be not at a UK-friendly time. I always watch back. What I will say, Ty, is please tag me and the 49er Faithful UK in the show. I'll get that tweeted out for you because you've shown the community on this side of the pond a lot of love.
Oh, huge amount.
It's the least that we can do. Now, the reason why I asked Nick if he could just add a little bit more. We've arrived at Nick's favourite part of the show. See, I've copied you from last week. I can't get my words out. I'm that giddy. Would you rather?
Has Paul put much effort in and thought into this one, do we think?
No, I've been at work today. I was in the office today.
I don't believe you.
I was at the office.
You might well have been.
It was rather rainy in the northeast of England today, and I couldn't go for my usual walk. So I had 45 minutes to kill. Now, the question is, Nick, do you want to go first, or do you want to get mine out of the way?
Joe, I'll go first. I'm going to prolong the agony. No, it doesn't. Simple.
It will if I'm there, Ty, because I'm a non-drinker. But for the others in the group, I don't know.
He'll have a couple. Don't worry. He will. Watch him. He'll want ones. But okay. Well, let's get down to this. Would you rather? Right. Mine's relatively simple because one of the scenarios I am offering you today, Paul, has already happened. CMC didn't get the record. It stops. He now is just a co-owner of said record. And of course, it was a very convincing victory for the 49ers. But my would you rather, boy, is quite simple. Would you rather keep the status quo as it is, or would you rather CMC have broken the record? I'm not going to say the Niners lose because that makes it too easy. Because, of course, and you're never going to vote for a Niners loss, I don't think. Not too many occasions you've said that anyway, unless I've been particularly evil. But yeah, so they still get to win. CMC gets his touchdown. But the Niners are not convincing at all. In fact, the Twitterverse is still going mental right now about how bad they were, how lucky they were that they won the game. But CMC's got the record. And the Niners got a win. So which would you prefer? Would you have rather everything stay the same? Or CMC gets the record, but everything else that goes with it could as well?
Well, I'm glad I had 45 minutes at work today on my lunch because that nearly was my starting point of the CMC touchdown. And then I was thinking like you. The problem is if you try and sprinkle it in with a Niners loss,
I'm going to go for it.
There. So I'm going to answer it a slightly different way. So
no, Paul. There's two outcomes.
No. So I don't want CM. So CMC isn't breaking the record. So I'm leaving it how it is. The reason why is because we're going to be in attendance when he starts the new record.
Oh,
we'll be able to look back to we were there.
See, always thinking. And
given the way that performance was, I couldn't change it from there. So before I ask you my would you rather, I want to say, Kev, I totally forgot to give you a shout out on this. So Kev has kindly donated the Vernon Davis signed 85 jersey. It's in the cupboard over there, Kev, because I need a frame for it. So I need to protect it. But it was rather confusing in my house when a package turned up with your name at my address. A few people were a little bit concerned. So Martin has answered there that CMC score and Niners Twitter goes into meltdown. That's always
you horrible bugger.
So let me get mine. So Nick.
That's it. That's all we've got time for this week. And thank you for joining us. No, we are going to do this. All right, okay.
I think we can both agree that I was rather nice to you on last week's Would You Rather.
No.
In fact, some would say I was too nice.
No.
Now, I'm not saying Mr. Pippin has had an influence on tonight's Would You Rather. And as Ty has put there.
Yeah, I saw that. I agree, Ty.
Now, given that we will be heading across the pond this weekend, it won't surprise anybody that this week's Would You Rather features a scenario involving this weekend.
Okay.
However, I'm not going to say it, but I just said that because to make sure you were listening. So, Nick, my Would You Rather is very simple. Would you rather go to the Golden State Warriors game this weekend at the Chase Center wearing an LA Lakers jersey, or would you rather go to the 49ers game on Sunday in a Dallas Cowboys jersey? You have to pick one, because that's the name of the show. Which one are you picking, and why?
Paul, I thought we were friends.
So, come on. Right. Which one are you wearing? You go to the Chase Center.
There's a loophole here somewhere, I'm going to find. There's got to be a loophole. I'm sure of it.
There's no loophole. You go in a Lakers jersey to the Golden State Warriors game, or you go to the Niners game in a Dallas Cowboys jersey.
No, I can never wear a Dallas Cowboys jersey ever in my life. It is never going to happen. I'm going to have to grin and bear it, and I'm going to have to wear the horrible. I know there's a lot of Lakers fans in the 49ers community. I know that, but I have kind of adopted the Golden State Warriors. They are the local team for me. It's going to have to be the Lakers jersey, and then I'm going to have to burn it off.
I'm glad you mentioned
some sort of jab or something. No, I'm not actually wearing your jersey. Not a chance.
Glad you mentioned that, because I haven't packed my case yet, Nick. So
I'm not going to the game.
You heard it here first.
I'm not wearing it. It's not actually going to happen, all right?
So I'm going to cut that bit of the show. I'm going to tweet it out. You heard it here, everyone. Nick Ludlam has got a Lakers jersey to wear.
I genuinely dislike you right now. I'm not allowed to use the words I want to use.
Well, here's a second option, to be fair. Rob has put you could get
nobody wants that.
Ty has put you could attend both bare-chested. James, I said I was too nice to him last week. The feedback that I've had from the community was I was too nice. And Martin, I knew you'd like that one, buddy. Now, as a disclaimer, of course, I'm not going to make Nick wear a Lakers jersey. However, he's on a different flight to me, so he's just going to have to wait until he gets to San Francisco and see what's in my suitcase.
You can't go wearing that to the game. I'm sorry, you just can't.
No, I've got a Steph Curry jersey, but I was sat at work earlier and I was thinking, how can I top the Leeds United one? Because that was the one where your face when you had to wear a Leeds United shirt. And then I remembered your hatred for the Lakers and the fact that I have a Lakers jersey. So if he'd said the Cowboys, Ted, I was a little bit stuck because I didn't have enough time to grab a Cowboys jersey off my many Cowboys friends. And I kind of took a gamble that he was always going to say he'd wear a Lakers jersey. But the look on your face.
Dear God. See? And he claims to be nice to me.
That was too nice.
Oh, I have good news. And he goes and does this to me. Oh. I hate you, Paul.
So that's this week's Would You Rather. So to be fair,
relax.
You can have a chill out now. So, Nick, is there anything that we need to talk about Sunday before we get to the point where we finish off? I'm trying to think. We've made it clear we're going. We've warned people about social media. There is one thing to say, just to let everybody know. I will be very quiet on Friday, purely because I'm going to be stuck on a plane. So don't worry.
Yeah.
Elon Musk has been warned that Twitter isn't broken.
Yeah. Data usage is going to drop severely on Friday for 11 hours. Let's be honest. Unless he goes and purchases the extortionate Wi-Fi. No,
I wouldn't. I'm not that. There's 19 others on the flight. I'm sure I've got enough to talk to keep me interested and busy.
True.
But because you've got some public service announcements, haven't you, Nick?
We do indeed. So once again, next weekend, the 49ers will be the Sky Game. It is the 9:05 kickoff, but it's going to be blacked out. So, you know the drill, people. Get in the group, tell people where you are, get together, go and watch the game together. Get out there. Let's have some more of the photos. Let's go flooding the internet with 49er Faithful UK, not just at the gold mine, but all over the UK. It was amazing seeing all of the photos in the group last week from the 4 mini meets that were going on around the country. There was so much red and gold. It was magnificent. It was beautiful. Let's see more of that. Let's see more of that as we go through now the rest of the season as the Niners build up to lifting number 6. I told you last week after the show we were going to win. I told you we're winning number 6. I'm telling you again. Get out there, guys. Come on. We can really do this. Let's be having you. Let's channel my what's her name? What was the chef who used to own Norwich? I can't remember now.
Oh, Delia Smith,
but she got a little bit drunk before a game. Let's be having you. Yeah. Let's have some of it.
So, to be fair, Dan, I do think
probably.
Sky have sorted that out because I think that was already earlier in the game. Now, it's kind of a double-edged sword for our American friends watching. We watch the games on the equivalent of NFL Sunday Ticket. It's called Game Pass. But our sports subscription service over here, Sky Sports, they have exclusive rights to the 6 o'clock and the 9 o'clock. So whichever game they choose is blacked out on your NFL Game Pass, your Sunday Ticket. So for the last few weeks, the Niners have been on that. Now, if I wasn't going to Levi's, I would be absolutely raging because I pay £150 and I think it's like 35% of the games this season have been blacked out. Yeah. Now, I borrowed a good friend of mine's Sky Go password, who's a Cowboys fan, Ted. So yes, I don't own a Cowboys jersey, but I would have borrowed one. But to echo what Nick said, the fact that it was a 6 o'clock game last Sunday, so we had Glasgow, where Martin went, we had Wakefield, we had Reading, and we had one in Manchester.
Yeah.
That's what this community is all about. We want to see people meet up, go watch the game with friends. Now, the 9:05 game on a Sunday should still allow you in the UK to go to a normal bar, sports bar, watch the game.
It's gonna have to be open late though.
Yeah, the only other option would be the casino. So on December the 3rd, I'm heading up to Newcastle to meet my friend who's a Lions fan, and we're going to watch the first round of games in a sports bar. Then we're going to head to the casino for the 9 o'clock game. But yeah, we just wanted to shout out to everybody. We wanted to get another cheeky plug in that will go to the gold mine. But equally, for those of you that aren't able to join us, We're hoping Sky Sports will be aware that there's 40 of us in a particular section of the stand. We're looking forward to all sitting together. I know it's the salute to service game for the Buccaneers home game, so obviously we'll be showing those respects because it was Armistice Day last weekend over here in the UK. I was going to say there was another thing I wanted to say before we went off. So yeah, the organisers have had the love on Facebook. Like Nick said, if you are arranging your own watch party this weekend, do let us know. However, I can't guarantee to be able to promote it because I'm a little bit busy.
Might be. This is it. I mean, the other thing we do need to say, because Paul is being really quite selfish and staying an extra day in San Francisco, I'm coming home on the Monday because I wanted to do a show next Tuesday, just for you guys. Paul has said no. He did. He told me off air he didn't want to do it. It didn't really matter. It didn't really matter to him. No, I'm joking. Let's say there won't, unfortunately, be a show next Tuesday because Paul will be traveling. He will be somewhere over Greenland at that time. But never fear, because, if you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notifications on, you never know what might happen later on in the week.
Yeah, well, you spoiled it, Nick. I wanted to do a show live from San Francisco, but you were the one that came home a day early. I mean, just to set the fact record. I mean, I am going to the Warriors game on the Monday night. Unlike Martin Hughes, I'm not the biggest Warriors fan in the world. Martin Hughes is clearly the UK's biggest Warriors fan. Just wanted to put that out on record there. To be fair, Nick, there could be a replacement for me if you really want to do a show on the Tuesday.
That's it. Wayne's in. Paul's gone. Paul's gone. This is Paul's last ever show. And that's it. He's gone. Ta-da. Bye.
But they're hoping to run a mini-meet in Plymouth for the Eagles game with Sarah. So watch this space. Like Nick said, we are trying to grow this channel of ours. Please do watch out because we may surprise you all by going live. We're in San Francisco from Friday. The majority of the group are there till Monday. It would be a miss if we weren't going to do something. And then next week's schedule is a little bit crazy because obviously we've got the Seahawks in Seattle on Thanksgiving. So we're going to try and coordinate with the pod team, with the live team. But it's safe to say that we have absolutely loved you guys joining us tonight. I want to say sorry for talking about the Buccaneers game. I'm not. And I'm not even going to say sorry for next week because regardless of what happens on the field, we're going to have an awesome time. We're going to have lots of stories to share with you guys. And Nick, buddy, I think at this point of the show, all that is left for us to say is stay safe and go Niners.
Go Niners, baby.
We love the San Francisco 49ers deep in the heart. Like Joe Montana in the corner, deep card. Garrison Hurt, stiff farm going 99.